everyone. Happy March. I hope you are doing well. Okay. I don't know why I'm being led to do this. I've not done it before. I've never been led to do it before. So there must be a reason for this. I'm going to throw a regular energy for all of us, and then I'm going to do the signs. So you're going to see this before every video, and I'm going to say I'll timestamp it behind me when I'm done, where the actual video starts, so you don't have to watch this for every single video, okay? But I think it's important for some reason, and I think the energies are intense, but you know what? It's just life. We go with what it is, but when we can be better prepared for the things that come up, we don't make mountains out of molehills. We don't say things we can't take back. We don't blow something up when, in fact, we have to, then go back and try to figure out why I did that and hope that something comes back together, right? So that's kind of the energy that I'm feeling, and it's coming out in the cards too. Okay, we've got Unity is the card, right? And we've got the Knight of Cups. We've got the Four of Cups, and we've got the Sun card. Okay, what I really feel here is, for some of you, I want to caution you against making something out of nothing. And don't think I'm discounting something here. I think that for some of you, you've got a little reminder here that you've got valuable things sitting right in front of you, and you may want to tend to those. For others of you, I think you're realizing that, maybe a situation that you're in isn't what you thought it was. You know what I mean? I think for some of you, you've got people coming into your life right now that are going to be valuable assets to you in some regard or another. For some of you, they're romantic relationships. For some of you, they're friendships. For some of you, they're business partnerships. But I think they're a reminder of there's different ways to do things, and you could maybe learn something here. You know what I'm saying? There's an air through here of not kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You may not initially like this person at one time. You know what I mean? Like, their first impression may be something that sets you back, or that you can't really figure it out. It just doesn't sit well. It's not an instant attraction on any regard. But I think that in further, getting to know this person a little better, or maybe watching what they're really doing, or, I think there was someone that I was watching recently, and I could not get past the antics of his mannerism, right? It was just, it was just uncomfortable, but his content was really good. So once I could get past that, initially, had I not stopped long enough to really listen to what he was saying, I would have been like, oh my gosh, this guy is way too unsettling. His antics were just they weren't a good match for mine. So I thought, right? But I sat for a minute, and I was really continuing to listen more to what he was saying than how flamboyant he really was. And I'm glad that I did, because he was a wealth of knowledge. So that is kind of the scenario that I'm going at here. For others of you too, I think that you may have things that have been bubbling under the surface that maybe you haven't dealt with, or again, when we don't deal with the little things, I kind of don't agree with, don't sweat the small stuff, because the small stuff becomes the big shit that hits the fan when we don't tend to it, right? So these are things where I think some of you have relationships coming in. I think for some of you, I'm going to hit the relationship aspect first. For some of you, I think you may come into contact with someone who's not exactly what you thought they would be. You know what I mean? Like, you're wishing and hoping, and whatever that song is, for this particular type of person. They have to look this way and talk this way and right? I think what may show up for you is someone completely different, but it's what you need, not necessarily what you thought you wanted. And I think that it could be something really spectacular. Okay, for others of you, you're being reminded that we're kind of all the same. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, when push comes to shove, we're kind of all the same kind of people. So you're being reminded of that, and to not. I've got to be honest. I don't have a wonderful feeling behind things that might come up globally this month. I think there's just a lot of unsettled energy. And the issue I've got here really is don't follow false things. If you hear something, check it out. Make sure that it's legit. You know, I have a feeling like the news crews and stuff like that, they're really going to kick up the crazy shit that they're doing anyway, right? So if you're someone who follows the news like it's, you know, whatever, I would be really careful about what you're getting. I'm not saying they're going to be lies or conspiracy theories or whatever the hell it is that they do anyway. I'm not a fan of the news, as you can tell. But I think it's not helping the cause. I think it may divide people and cause really devastating circumstances. You know what I mean? You don't want to, I just feel like this kind of energy is kind of like the major things in life, in history that have passed, that have taken place. And they've taken out a lot of people just for having different opinions, just for looking different or acting different or having a different culture or religion or something like that. You know what I mean? Who gives a shit if someone is different? It has really nothing to do with you. But this is where I'm saying on a smaller scale, this could hit your home in the fact that, you know what, you blow up at a partner because you had a crappy day at work, but you say things that you can't take back. You know what I mean? They may be true, but your delivery may not be something they'll forget. You know what I mean? And that's like kind of breaking your leg. It'll heal, but it'll never quite be the same again. And then the person may be afraid to talk to you about things. You could start something here that you can't finish. You know what I mean? So you may just want to be cautious. That's why I'm saying this. You've got the Sun card here. So it's a reminder that, you know what, see the good in someone and ask your peeps, ask your peeps around you. Look, I may not be at my best, so I'm going to do my best to, but just, you know who I really am. Give me a little bit of wiggle room here because I may not be at my best. And I think it's just these energies that are passing through, and they will. You know what I'm saying? I just think they're a little bit intense. What I'm feeling is like, again, trying to turn a cruise ship in a bathtub. It's going to take a little bit. You know what I mean? So let the things play out. Really cherish the people that are in your life that are of value to you. Really look at the ones that, I know that sounded terrible, but look at the ones that, you know what, maybe there's an expiration date here that's been presenting itself for a little bit. Because what I feel here is, for some of you, it's taking into consideration the gifts that you've currently got. You know what I mean? And for others of you, it's saying here, if you're staying in something because you're afraid this is the best you can get, you've got something coming in around the corner here that could be something really happy for you. You know what I mean? So we need to let things go when it's time for them to go. And that's what I feel. And I think with the Unity card, what it's coming in here to remind you of is that don't be stubborn in certain ways. Don't let people be stubborn in certain ways. Say things maybe a little bit more simply. We've got, you know, Mercury retrograde. It is a big deal. I find it to be a really big deal. And I know people are saying that we go through this a lot, and we do. But look at the times in your life where you say things or you do things where you're like, what the hell was that out loud, and why did I do it? They're big things. You know what I mean? So we can't discount them. So just be conscious of what you're saying. Value the people that are in your life, and take a survey. And it's not just, you know, it's your belief systems too. It's the things you believe in. It's you know, maybe changing things. You know, when you go through your whole life believing something, whatever, and then you come to a point in your life where you're like, you know, I really don't believe this anymore. I really don't want this anymore. I really don't want, you know, I'm evaluating something. Give yourself the space to do that. You know what I mean? Don't poo-poo it or speed over it or not think about it or make that a small thing that can be dealt with later, because that small thing turns into a big thing. You know what I mean? And look at these things. For some of you, you know, the Knight of Cups is kind of just saying to you here, it is an actual person for some of you. And it can be a woman. It's not gender specific. But it's like, kind of, you know, don't be, love is blind, but we're also blind to it. You know what I mean? So don't look a gift horse in the mouth. If you've got someone in your life who you really care about, tell them you really care about them. You know what I mean? Don't assume that they're going to be there, you know, in 10 days and they know that I work really hard. They know that I'm never home. Don't assume that that's okay. You know what I mean? They may just not be someone who really speaks up, but you know, you come home one day and there's the note on the table and they're gone. I see things like that happen in these energies. That's why I'm trying to point these things out here. Cherish the people that are in your life. You know, take responsibility for yourself and the things that you do and that you say, and let other people know that they're appreciated. And if you need something from someone else, speak up about it and see where that goes. You know what I mean? I think that it's a time where a lot of things are changing. I think it's a time where if we let go of things that we know we need to let go of, amazing things sit right in front of us, okay? The Sun card here is a yes card. So whatever you're showing up to your reading for, the answer is most likely yes, right? This card, the Sun card, what I'm really feeling off of it is it's kind of like, again, seeing the good in someone, even if they don't see it yet in themselves. You know what I mean? Like someone may need to grow into a better version of themselves, but you see that in them, right? And you're kind of just holding space for this person. I'm not saying be used and abused and not, you know, I'm not saying stay in a situation because you see how someone could be, right? There's a big distinction between that and what I'm saying. I'm saying that this is something that, you know, the relationship isn't there. The person is not, you know, they're not tanked right now. You know what I mean? Like they're not being an idiot now is what I'm saying. They're not disrespecting you. They're not disrespecting the family. They're not disrespecting, you know, whatever it is. I'm saying that they're just not up to par yet, but you see sometimes relationships really are just holding space for each other. You know what I mean? That's why I'm not a big advocate of getting stuck on these soulmates and these twin flame things. To me, and how I know our soul evolves, to me, I don't believe in that. I think we have a lot of soulmates. You know, I think we have souls that cross our paths for different reasons at different times. I don't think we have one, but I think that people are looking for that one love, which is already yourself. But to get to know that, it needs to be triggered by someone else. Many different soulmates, right? But some are more intense. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm going here. But this is the dynamic where I think we're really going to be seeing things. We're really going to learn a lot about ourselves if we choose to, right? I think for some of you, you've got opportunities also that are going to be sitting right in front of you. Don't be so, don't poo-poo things that could really turn into opportunities for you. You know what I mean? Like explore things. Don't do the hierarchy thing. And that's what I kind of think the Unity card is coming in with, that we're all kind of the same at the end of the day. You can learn things. Like I was giving you that example about that person that I was listening to. He was a wealth of knowledge. He was a little flamboyant though, a little bit more than, so I just had to look away, but I was listening and I got the content that I needed. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the scenario that I'm going here. And I think that it's a great month. I don't think it's a month though really to act on things. Like if you're going to put the kibosh to something or put like a, you know, the end on something, I would wait. Because we've got a lot of planets here that are, things may not be what they appear to be. There's nothing, you can't really lose anything by waiting a little bit until these things calm down. All right, so that's all I'm saying. It's kind of like when a new model of a car comes out or something, they'll always say to you, wait a year to see what the glitches come up in that car, and so that you can get a better version of it. So just sit back and see, but taking what I'm saying and give yourself ample time here to say, you know what, I have worked with this person. I have, you know, I can see a vision here. Maybe we could work together. Maybe, you know, two heads merging something is better than one. Maybe we can work together. Maybe we do things different, but our goal is we have the common goal. You know what I mean? It can be things like that too. So again, we grow through relationships. So this could be on any platform for you. Okay. But I think that there's opportunities here that could so easily be missed, and opportunities here that can't be seen yet because you're under things that need to be cleared out. So that's what I've got for our overall energy. Let's see what we've got here. Hi Aries, happy March, happy birthday. I hope you're doing well. Okay, now when I was doing the Pisces reading, I kept hearing raven, the word raven. and it didn't show up in their cards at all, but there is a Raven card and it shows up in your reading. So I would say watch the Pisces reading. Your houses touch. I'm an Aries Pisces cusp, and I'm going to say that we've got internal things that are moving about that are going to hit soul core level things within ourselves, right? So it's a time that we need to address some of those deeper things, right? So this reading may be a little bit more intense than other readings, but this is how I hit this perspective here. Now, again, I'm doing 4 oracle cards and 3 tarot cards. Again, these are not how I normally do things. So I don't know why I'm being called to do these things, but I would appreciate your feedback. Let me know what your comments are and how this is working out for you, because that is my goal, to get you what you need, right? So comment, your input would be greatly appreciated. Okay, because I know that how I get my messages have changed over the last month. They're more intense. They're more like, I hear sentences, paragraph. I hear the whole thing, and it's very different for me. Normally, it's vision, it's smell. I can hear things, but I don't see like the whole paragraph being written out. So it's been a little bit changed up for me. So let me know if this helps you, right? Or if you would rather just have tarot cards. Okay, we've got the Raven card. Darkness looms on the horizon. Hang on a second, because I can tell you that you're not going to be ambushed by something or someone, okay? This is the Raven. You've got inner beauty, which I don't think you're feeling right now, okay? And you've got strength. You're going to need to get your Joan of Arc on, is kind of what I'm feeling here. Just as your persona, you're going to need to just, buckle up and face some things here. Now you've got wisdom, okay? And this is about not repeating past mistakes, not making mistakes that aren't thought out. You know what I'm saying? It's the difference between it's about not repeating past mistakes, is basically what that comes down to. Now, the inner beauty is reminding you of that, of who you are. I don't think you're feeling on your game right now. I think you might be feeling a little victimized. You might be feeling a little bit used and abused, like you're not appreciated, or I think you're just not feeling as vibrant as you might normally feel. Okay, so you're being reminded of that, kind of like the how do I say? It's kind of like sometimes we go through periods where we feel sorry for ourselves, but we've kind of put ourselves in that position, right? And I'll show you why I say that, because we've got the Tower card, okay? We've got the 10 of Wands, and we've got the Star card. Now, ironically, in here, this is kind of the scenario. You know what I'm saying? In Shakespeare, it's kind of like Anthony, he had so many, he was enamored with Cleopatra, but he had so many responsibilities on him. He took so much responsibilities on him that things were starting to fall through the crack. And we all know how the story ends, right? But what I feel is happening here with the Tower card and all of these cards are, I think you may have taken on more than you can handle. You know what I'm saying? This could be in work, because when the Tower card shows up with the 10 of Wands, it's saying love what you do, but don't let that be all-encompassing. You know what I mean? Like, don't lose sight of your faculties here over something, over a person, a place, a thing, a job, a responsibility. Because what can happen here is you can it gets piled on until, you exit stage door right here, because you just can't deal with things. That's kind of what I feel is happening here. You're going to need some strength maybe to just say, no, you know what? I can't take on anymore right now. Or no, you know what? I just don't have the energy for this. I need to take a minute to myself and step back and reprioritize what's really valuable here. You know what I mean? Because I don't think you're feeling at your best right now. I don't think you're feeling attractive. I don't think you're feeling like you're being appreciated. I just don't think you're having a really great time right now. But, you know, in hindsight, with the wisdom card, it says, did you take on a little bit too much? You know what I mean? And have we been here before? With the wisdom card, it's we've been here before, but we're going to try to restructure something here. This can be too, sometimes in here, it's not knowing what your true north is, meaning not knowing who you are here. Maybe you're a real people pleaser. You know what I mean? But you can also be, it can be kind of like you may have driven yourself into the ground, basically. You may have had your foot on the gas for a little bit too long. So these cards are just saying, you know, you're about to go into a tailspin here if you don't restructure your life here, if you don't rebalance your life, if you don't get your focus maybe back where it needs to be. You know what I mean? In a balanced perspective. The Tower card can be a blow to the ego too. You know what I mean? You could have maybe just gotten a review or something at work and you're thinking, man, I've been working my ass off for the last 3 months here. I've neglected everything else in my life and now you give me a shitty review. It can be something like that too, where you may want to look at, we've been down this road before. Maybe this company doesn't value me anymore because I don't value myself. You know what I mean? Maybe I've put all too much into one thing and the rest of my life. I'll tell you from doing readings, as long as I've been doing things, you will not have one area of your life succeed if other areas are tanking. That's why I'm a big advocate of balancing things out. You know what I mean? You will not have a good home life if you're burning it all at work. You know what I mean? You've got to restructure here. And that's what I think with Darkness Looms and these two cards here. I think that you're repeating a pattern here, but the cards are saying stop. Just stop for a minute, and you're going to need to say to your boss, your partner, somebody, enough. Boss, I've got to stop here. You're going to need to be really strong in something. Hold your ground here on something, okay? And remember really who you are. You know what I mean? Maybe you're in a relationship or you're in something, maybe where you're being a little bit taken advantage of. You know what I mean? You may just need to say no, you know, and see where the chips lie. If someone is with you for a reason other than just being with you authentically, and you're feeling a little bit taken advantage of, you may want to look at this. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a feeling with these two cards, you're heading down a path you've been down before, right? That's what I feel here. With the Tower card and the Ten of Wands in a work arena, this would say I'm over my head here. I'm over the legal limit here. I need to say something and stand up and do that. And I would advise you to do that, because when these two cards show up, it's already telling me someone's the yes person at work. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll take it on. Sure, I'll do it. But what happens here is you lose the authority that you built, because people are starting to realize you're missing deadlines, you're not making appointments, you're coming in late, you're doing a half-assed job. You know what I mean? You're not at your best right now. So you're being called out on it, and you're saying, you know what? Look at all you put on me is what you're saying, but you're not saying it. You're going to need to say it, right? You're going to need to just say, no, I can't take anymore. I'm one person, you know? And Cleopatra, this is a card of you know, it is a card of exterior beauty, but it's also a card of interior beauty. And it's saying here too, this could be the flip side to the coin. Don't be selling yourself short here. You know what I mean? Don't be showing up as the don't be manipulative, I guess is kind of what I'm saying here. You've got beauty and brains. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. Show up authentically to that. There's a way here, I think, that this can be where, when is it ever enough? You know what I mean? You could be on either end of this coin here, but you know, you've got to ask yourself, what is enough? Maybe you've got a person in your life or someone that no matter what you do, it's just never enough. You may want to look at that, you know, and take a look at your habits here, as far as that goes. And that's really what I think is happening here, because I think that you lost track of who you are, maybe trying to appease everyone else. You know, that could absolutely be it here. You may have people in your life that are, and I don't use this word lightly, but narcissistic people. They could be family members too, that it's just never enough, you know. But this inner beauty is you've got to look at this and remember that you can get things on your own merit here. You know, maybe you're thinking you need to sell yourself short. You know what I mean? Maybe you need to just remember who you are as the whole package. This is about not making those mistakes. And I'll tell you, Cleopatra, if you look up, she knew exactly what to do. And she didn't manipulate. She was bright. She was very, very intelligent, but she was very, very attractive as well. So you want to remember these things, male or female. You know what I'm saying? You've got to be the whole package here for yourself, you know. So there you go. That's what I think. You don't want to lose credibility on something that you've worked really hard for. But again, in a relationship spectrum too, you know, you want to know that, you know, the real you is showing up in your relationship and that the other person is as well. That's kind of what I see here. I just have an underlying feeling here that you're about to repeat something, and the cards are trying to say to you, stop. You're more than this. Don't show up less than who you really are. But I think you're feeling real defeated right now. So take a minute. I personally would suggest not making any major moves in March. I would collect yourself, get your thoughts in place, take the month to figure out what it is that you want to do here in whatever this scenario is to yourself, and then act on it. Then it's better able to be grounded. I think emotions are all over the place here, and I think that this is something that's really, really deep. So that's what I would say here. Okay, this could be, this is pretty intense, so that's what I would say. And given that the Raven card, I kept hearing it in Pisces, maybe check that reading out too. Okay, it might have something to do with this. Okay, so there you go. I hope that I helped you. If you need a private reading, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you with this. Okay, but remember, these energies are really intense. You know, in order to not make something worse than it is, maybe borrow some time for a little bit. You know what I mean? Maybe just borrow some time for a little bit to get your ducks in a row. This is a card of inner strength, and then you can show up authentically 100%. This is not when you want to say something because you're so tired that you mean what you say, but the delivery was horrid. You know, I'd give it a 10 on the scale of you blew someone's mind, basically. So there you go. I hope that I helped you in some way.